Hi everyone, this is Theo from ParkerBlogs.com. Today I'm going to answer a question that I get asked frequently, which is which fountain pen would I recommend to a beginner? Since my YouTube channel focuses on drawing and sketching, I will be talking about fountain pens from the perspective of someone who uses them to draw. You can use any fountain pen to draw. I would divide them into two main groups. One would be pens that can only produce uniform strokes, strokes that do not vary in terms of thickness. And the second group are pens that can give you varying strokes, strokes that can vary in terms of thickness, so you can get thin or thick lines. Let's talk about the pros and cons. For the con, the main thing would be the price tag. Some of these fountain pens, they can be very expensive. They can go all the way up to thousands of dollars. But for beginners, I do not recommend spending so much money. Keep your budget to below $50. I mean, who knows? You may not like to draw with fountain pens, so don't spend so much money upfront. And even with $50, you can get very good pens. For the pros and advantages of fountain pens, there are many. Well, the first is you can use your own ink. You can choose different types of ink out there that are available in the market, and they come in so many different types of colors. And if you work with water medium, you can choose waterproof ink as well. For disposable pens, they usually do not have waterproof ink. And because you buy ink bottles like this is going to last a long time, and in the long run, even though the pens are expensive, it's going to be more economical to use fountain pens with ink. And because they are not disposable, you don't need to throw them away. It helps save the environment. And also, fountain pens, they come with different types of nibs, and different nibs, they have different characteristics. Some can give you thin and thick lines, some are a bit softer. It's like drawing with a brush, but some, they are so hard, like the steel nibs. They are very durable and can last you a long time. The fountain pens that I'm going to show you today are from a price range of $2 up to $50 US currency. So I've arranged them from the cheapest to the most expensive, so let's take a look at them one by one. This is the first pen, the cheapest pen. This is a disposable fountain pen that costs $2.50 Singapore dollar. So in US, it's probably under $2. And it comes with a very simple nib. And this belongs to the Group 1 pens. This is able to produce lines that do not vary in terms of thickness, so they give you a very uniform line. You can also turn it upside down to get slightly thinner lines. This is quite smooth, but since this is a disposable pen, once you finish the ink, you have to throw this away. But this can be a good beginner pen to let you know the difference between fountain pens and ballpoint pens, or those needle point pens. So this is the Pilot V pen. The second pen that I recommend is the Duke 209. This is a pen that can give you lines of varying thickness because this comes with a Fude nib. A Fude nib is a nib that is bent at the end, so you can use the broad part here to draw thicker lines, and you can use the tip for thinner lines. So this is the Duke 209. So if you use the broad side, you can get very thick strokes, and if you tip the pen upwards, you can use the tip for very thin lines. I bought this on eBay under US $10, and it includes shipping. There are two versions. One is the one with this silver body. I actually used sandpaper to rough up the body because it was just too smooth and too slippery. The other version comes with a matte body. I've not used that before, but I hope that is not as slippery as this. But for under US $10, I think this is well worth the money. And this comes with the Fude nib, which is quite fun to use because Depending on the angle that you are holding the pen, you can get thin and thick lines. So for example here, I can get thick lines and it transitions to thin, so it's quite fun. So this is the pen with the Fude nib. It's also known as a calligraphy nib. Make sure that you buy one that specifically mentions that it comes with a calligraphy nib or a Fude nib. The next pen that I have is the Platinum Preppy. This is also under $10 US, very affordable. The build quality is alright. Everything is made of plastic except for the metal nib. And I think the metal nib, it comes in different sizes. The one that I have is 0.3. And this pen, it produces uniform strokes, so you will not be able to get lines of varying thickness like the Fude nib that I showed you earlier on. One thing to take note of when getting fountain pens is to note the type of converter that you use or the ink cartridge that they use. For example, this one, it comes with a disposable ink cartridge. But because this is the platinum fountain pen, you can actually use platinum ink cartridges or platinum ink converters. If you use the ink converter, you will be able to refill this pen. Let me show you the ink converter for the platinum. So this is the ink converter, and this is the twist type ink converter. You have to buy this separately. So even though this pen is under $10, you do have to have extra budget for the ink converter. And next up, we have two other pens from the $10 to $15 range US currency. These two are the Sailor fountain pens with Fude nib. So let me show you the nib. Here's a closer look at the Fude nibs. The difference between these two are the nibs, they are bent at different angles. So depending on your hand position, the strokes that they can produce will be different as well. I actually have a video review for these two pens. You can check that out in the video description below. Since these two pens, they feature Fude nibs, they are also going to be able to produce lines of varying thickness, just like the Duke 209 that I showed you earlier. However, the ink flow for these two pens, I feel that they are not as good compared to the Duke. The build quality is alright. The whole pen is made of plastic except for the nib. And if you put them on the table like this, they can roll very easily. But the cap, it actually has a protrusion here that prevents the pen from rolling around when you put the cap on. So that is quite helpful. This is made by the Sailor Pen Company in Japan, and they use the Sailor converter. By the way, you cannot interchange converters from different brands, so you cannot use a Sailor converter with a platinum fountain pen, or you cannot use a platinum ink converter with a Sailor fountain pen. We are now in the $20 to $30 US price range of pens. This is the Lamy Safari. It's a rather popular pen. It is available in a lot of different colors. The one that I have features a demonstrator body, which allows me to see through to what's inside because the body is transparent. This is actually one of my earlier pens, second fountain pen that I bought actually. It comes with a nib that produces uniform lines. And this is the Lamy Safari ink converter. The build quality is alright, although I think this is quite prone to scratches. So my fountain pen, it has a lot of scratches. And it has a giant clip, which is pretty interesting. And the performance wise, it's quite good. It writes very smoothly on the paper. I'm not going to show you the strokes because this produces a uniform stroke, so it is not going to be any different compared to other fountain pens that produces that kind of strokes. Also in the $20 to $30 range would be these two Noodlers fountain pen. This is the Ahab and this is the Konrad. These two pens, they feature semi-flexible nibs, so depending on the pressure you apply onto your pen, it can give you thin and thick lines. So these are the strokes from the normal nib, and this is the Noodlers Ahab. This is the thin line, and let me press down a bit harder. This is the thicker line, so I can get thin and thick to thin. Noodlers. Ahab. For fountain pens that come with flexible nibs, these are the more affordable options. The downside to Noodlers fountain pen is they can be quite smelly. I have these two pens for more than a year and they still give off some smell, which I do not like. The good thing about the pens are, well, they come with flexible nibs and the ink converter is built in. For this ink converter, it uses the piston, the plunger type, so this is quite convenient. For the other pen, the Noodlers Konrad, it uses the twist type ink converter, so you actually have to twist it here. By the way, these two pens, they are very easy to dismantle, so you can clean them very easily. But the downside to this pen is be careful not to twist the wrong side, because if you do it like what I'm doing it right now, the ink can actually just flow out. So this part have to be tightened very tightly so that when you twist the back, only this cap comes off. Next up is the Hero fountain pen. They come with different types of body, so this is a Hero as well, and so is this. So depending on which body you get, the model number will be different. This is the Hero 501 and this is also a Hero 501. I want to show you these two because the quality control can be quite inconsistent. This is the first fountain pen that I bought. I bought it here in Singapore. If you want to find Hero fountain pens, you can do so online on eBay. Sometimes they fade out certain models, so you may not be able to get 501, but you can get other Hero fountain pens. So for example, this is the Hero 9018. They come with different types of nibs. The one that I have features a Fude nib, but this Hero fountain pen, this features a normal nib. So as shown earlier, the Fude nib is able to produce thin and thick lines, but this nib here, it can only produce uniform lines. Ink flow is good. Build quality, at least for this particular pen that I'm using, is quite good as well because it features a full metal body. The quality control can be questionable, hit and miss. I have Hero fountain pens that don't work for whatever reasons. I have friends who use Hero fountain pens that are faulty, so this is something to take note of. The highlight really is the Fude nib. If you want to buy a Hero fountain pen with a normal nib, then there are other better options out there. If you want to buy a Hero pen, it's best to get one with the Fude or calligraphy nib. The last two pens are from the US $30 to $50 range. This is the Pilot Prera and this is the Twsbi Diamond. The Pilot Prera is a rather small pen, so to make it a bit longer, you do have to put the cap behind, and this is a bit more comfortable to use when the cap is behind rather than holding a small pen like this. The highlight of this pen is the design. It looks very nice. It features a transparent body and this is very easy to dismantle. This is the ink converter and this is the feet and the nib. So it's really very easy to dismantle. If you want to clean this pen properly and thoroughly, you can dismantle it and you can put it back also very quickly. Now this is the Pilot ink converter Con 50. Do not get the wrong converter because different converter, they come in different sizes. The Con 20 is smaller, Con 50 is just the right size for this pan, and Con 70 is too big. It doesn't fit into this small pan, and this is sold separately if I'm not wrong. Writing performance is no different from other fountain pens that come with the standard nib. So this nib, it produces uniform strokes. It looks quite nice. It comes in different colors as well. This is the Twsbi Diamond 530. This is made in Taiwan. The company no longer makes this particular model because there are new models, but most of their pens, they come with the same refilling mechanism. This pen costs around US $50 to $60, but there are cheaper pens from the company that are selling at about half the price. The refilling mechanism here is the twist type, so this is built in, which is very convenient, and the ink capacity is quite large, so it can hold a lot of ink. Be careful when dismantling and putting the pen back together, because if you don't put it back together properly, you might damage the pen. I actually damaged my pen, so when I refill the ink, some of the ink actually leaks into this area here. So do not damage your pen. The one that I would recommend would be the Twsbi Eco. So that will be selling at around US $30 to $40. This is much more expensive and it's no longer being made. If I can only choose 3 fountain pens from all the pens here, I would pick the Duke 209 for the Fude nib, and because this pen is only under US $10. The next pen I will pick would be the Noodlers Ahab for the flexible nib and the built-in ink converter. Even though it gives off a bad smell, this is the more affordable flexible nibs out there. And the last pen would be either a Lamy Safari or the Twsbi fountain pen. I like the Twsbi because of the built-in ink converter. The Lamy Safari is also very nice, so I'm not really sure which one I would get. Probably the Twsbi, although the Lamy Safari I think is easier to clean. If I can only choose 2 pens, well, that would be quite difficult. So again, it would be either a toss-up between these two, the Twsbi and the Lamy. I would definitely get the Duke 209. So which fountain pen you like or choose really depends on what type of strokes you like. So if you like strokes that can vary in terms of thickness, then you would have to go for fountain pens that have the Fude nib or flexible nib. If you are someone who likes lines that are uniform, you don't like the variation, then you can just go for those fountain pens with the normal nib, the fine, medium, extra fine type of nibs. That's all for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below. I will put up links in the video description to all the individual reviews of all these pens. Thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful. See you in the next video. Bye.